Morning, everybody. Joann, hey, and there's Effie.
Morning.
Effie, hello. It's good to see you. And you're short too. Awesome. Hi, guys. It's good to see everybody. So we want to say hi and thanks to our YouTube audience for joining us in the sacred energy of Circle this morning. And today you're going to be able to watch our evidential mediums as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side, deliver messages from them. This is all live and unedited, so it's spontaneous. And our hope is that by watching our mediums at work, you're going to come to understand that the loved ones that you may have lost are in fact still with you. So will you please join us as we open with a prayer? Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make the circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning, so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right, and I think we can go, let's say 10 minutes each, and then we'll have like 10 minutes for discussion about the readings, if that works for everybody. Let me set a clock up here. Whenever anybody gets a link, just go ahead and jump on in there.
I'll go. I'll just start it. I don't have a strong
Thanks,
link.
Joann.
I don't have a strong link, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for the spirit to come through. And I'm getting a female energy as I'm talking. And she's very grounded. Wow. And I feel she was a strong, outspoken. I feel like I'm connecting with a grandmother. And this woman, uh, she was fierce in her energy, very grounded. And she would take no for an answer. She would see the potential in others. And I'm feeling like she's sharing, like before they would see it within themselves, and she would, a matter of fact, would just point that out. Effie, I feel like I'm with you.
That does sound like my grandmother, yes.
Yes, yeah, it's okay.
I can definitely
And
understand taking no for an answer.
very,
Hmm.
yes, and very powerful woman. And I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. Oh, wow. She was like the salt of the
Hmm.
earth, a woman. And yeah, she would take like she would tell you like it is and point things out very clearly. There is no misunderstanding with her when it came to conversing with her. Like
She did
she
not
wanted to,
sugarcoat things. Yeah.
no, she did not. She was a matter of fact, and I love people like that. Matter of fact, didn't sugarcoat anything and would tell you directly. And she wants to make her presence known. And today, especially today, because just it's like this DNA that you carry with your grandmother. You yourself, like salt of the earth, you take on a lot of things, and I'm getting chills, but she wants you to nurture yourself. It's a lot of women that did not do that. Take time to nurture themselves, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. And it doesn't take a lot of effort, as you know, but she especially is coming through for that. And it's something that she would say to you, like, you need to rest. She's showing me, I'm hearing olive groves. Like I see like these certain trees she's showing. Would you understand anything about like olive grove
Yes.
trees? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. She's like showing me that. And the sense I'm getting is like just spending time in nature. And I feel like she had certain remedies. Like if you were
Hmm.
sick, she would give you
Yeah.
like I'm getting like even like drinking a little shot of olive oil, like stuff like that. Would you understand that? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Olive
her
oil was big in my house. Yeah.
so it's sort of like the cure of all cures. Like she had her there's remedies that she would have. Like if you were sick, she would give you this. If you like, it's like take this. This will help you feel better. And she was really adamant about it. Would you understand that around your grandmother? Like,
Yes. Yes.
thank you. Okay. I'm hearing, but this is interesting is how it's coming in. I know that your grandmother spoke a different language because I'm hearing Italian and I'm hearing what I'm hearing and I'm not hearing it and I know that your grandmother is great because I know that Effie, we know that is for the live audience, but I'm hearing an Italian word and I heard it before and it means don't worry. Don't worry. Like I heard I'm hearing like basta basta.
Stop, stop in Italian.
What's it?
Basta is stop in Italian.
Okay, okay. Is it okay, okay. So so whatever that is, I don't know. Like I don't know. I heard it as so don't worry, like okay, so stop. I don't know. I heard basta, but I don't know what okay, I'm gonna settle into that. And just for my former reference, that was for someone who was really worrying and they came through and said that to stop worrying. So I'm gonna just let it land there. Um, and she's seeing you and she's showing me like this beautiful flower that's just blooming. And it's coming, I'm getting chills. And she's like, she wants to congratulate you. And it's like blooming and blooming and blooming. And she sees all these blooms and blossoms and things like that. And you are coming into your own. And hmm, that's the message. She wants to congratulate you, Effie. She also knows that there's a lot on your plate. You are handling it very well. She said, "We are like strong women in our in our culture, very strong women, and you carry the DNA." But I'm hearing also, just don't rest on your laurels. Don't, it's like, don't be afraid to, because I think being that such a strong woman and such for a lineage of coming from strong women, that it's hard to lean on other people. And she wants you to offer yourself grace. And if someone offers to help you, take that. It's not being weak. It's just being able to understand you can only do so much. And I feel that that's the message, and I'm going to leave your grandma's love with you.
Thank you, Joann. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
You have feedback for her?
So yes, a strong lineage of women that we come from. My bloodline, my lineage is Spartan. And so often they would say, you come from the same cloth as your grandparents from that certain village. So, and I just identified and aligned with their souls. We were the same, everything we did with olive oil, and we did have olive gar properties where a lot of olives trees would grow as a big part of their culture, but also their everyday olives, olives, olives. And then they would
Mm.
import olives to where I was just because that taste was so wholesome, from the black olives to the green olives, all of it and more. So olive oil is huge. I could, I could go on and have a story, a book about
Okay.
being raised with olive oil. And yeah, so my grandmother does come in. She's one of the first people that came to me when I had my spiritual awakening, and she was the one that didn't allow me to quit. One
Mm.
of the people. She was just consistently there, and her strength, because we're from the same soil, I identified my soul finally and recognized, oh, this is what they're talking about. So I knew it was her. And as you can see, I've had surgery on my shoulder, and it's an interesting period where I had to lean on other people to help me.
Mm.
And I did. And so there are quite a few people helping me right now. So it's a time to pause, rest, reflection. And she would be very blunt with her words. She didn't sugarcoat things. So if you didn't do your bed the right way, she would tell you. If you weren't up at 7 a.m. the next day, you got a full glass of cold water on your face. She would tell you she's going to do this, and she would. So we all always woke up at 6:45. So she's quite a strong woman.
Hmm.
And you would like her very much, Joann.
Yeah.
But she's also a very generous and loving woman at the
Yes.
same
Yes.
time. Like she's genuine.
Hmm.
She walks the walk. She talks the talk.
Yeah.
There is no sugarcoating. What you see
No.
is
Because
what
I
you
see her,
get.
the salt of the, or like she does everything.
Yes.
She's constantly there, and I feel, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying,
Feed,
I'm
she
so
would
connected with
feed
her. I
you
just,
everything when
yes.
you're in her house. And as long as you're
Hmm.
happy, and she would love you, just love you dearly, but with strength. And that was
Hmm.
her.
Hmm. Most
Wow.
definitely. Yeah.
That was great, Joanne. A lot of great evidence in that reading, but I actually want to strip that back to
Hmm.
Mediumship 101, if this is okay. And I'll throw this out to you. Your very first statement was, I have a woman here.
Hmm.
So for our brand new mediums who are watching us, okay, how do you tell the difference between a man and a woman in spirit?
Mm. Well, I felt her and I sort of sensed her, had an outline of her. So I knew it was a female.
So
That's how
you
I
sensed the outline of
know.
a woman.
Yeah, so I sort of saw her in my third eye. And I also felt her energy. It wasn't a male energy, it was female energy when I first, and it was coming in very lightly. So obviously, I raised my hand, but I didn't have a full connection with her. So, but that's the only thing I had was this female, older female. She presented herself as being older. Sometimes spirit can present themselves younger. And and I felt a energy of a female. That's all I can say. And then it gradually I sort of sense it, but I wanted to get more information. And I got to tell you, for beginners, it's harder to work in your head. You think there is a barrier when you're working with people you know, because you feel like you know everything, but you don't. And you have to sort of lean into that. So I wanted to, even though I knew immediately I was with Effie, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to get more information before I landed there because my mind got in the way. So sometimes, because sometimes I felt it, but I wanted to make sure. So myself, I was getting in my own way, but I wanted to get more information and get that full connection to know that I was with her.
Okay. That whole getting in my own way is going to come up later, I'm sure. Okay,
Mhm.
but I just want to throw my 2 cents in on the idea of telling a man from a woman in
Mhm.
spirit, like because a lot of people can feel that like there's somebody there, but they don't know who that is. And
Mhm.
I when I was first starting, I actually used to practice this in the grocery store of all places, because like when you're standing in the grocery store line, there's somebody behind you. Okay, but unless you turn around, you don't know who that person is. And so when I was standing in the grocery line, I would just close my eyes and try to figure out whether that was a male or a female behind me. And it got to the point where I could do it very accurately. It wasn't accurate in the beginning, but when I really started focusing on it, okay, that's what helped me to learn
Mhm.
that skill. Okay, to tell the difference between a man and a woman. And Effie, I don't know where you stand on that. How did you manage to tell the difference between a man and a woman
The
when you
big,
were
very,
starting?
the very, excuse me, the very, very beginning, I just would have male, female, male,
On one
female.
side.
Yeah,
Okay.
male,
Now,
female.
how did you know it was a man on this side versus a man on that side? How were the sides assigned?
I would visually see them walk in
Oh,
from
okay.
visually, clairvoyantly see them walk in, a male and then a female, depending on which left or right side.
Okay.
I, yeah, for some time, I didn't always trust and got lots wrong, but that's how I did it.
Okay. All right. Sure. What about you? How do you tell when you were first starting? How did you learn to tell the difference between a male and a female spirit?
Yeah, it's mostly visual uh, in
So
the
you
third
saw.
eye. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can always also feel and know. My biggest sense is knowing, so I just know.
Okay. So
It
you
comes to
just
my awareness that it's a male, but a lot of time I see and, of course, feel at the same time. Yeah.
okay. All right. So a lot of beginners are not lucky enough to be able to see right out of the gate. So I'm just going to throw it out to the group. Does anybody else have any other tips that they can think of to help beginners identify male versus female?
I think my tip was that first thing that comes to you, go with that.
Good point.
Don't get too much in your head.
Good point. Okay. All right. Just, make a decision and run with it. And I've actually heard, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but have have you ever heard that axiom where if you make a statement in a reading and you say, I have a mail coming in, spirit will send you a mail right away. Spirit always has your back.
I have seen this where it is to the wrong sitter, and the sitter saying no, 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 no. And then all of a sudden the sitter starts saying yes, 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 yes. So I'm thinking in my mind, they're probably going, okay, this is not working. Hurry up. Come on, hurry up. Get over here. Your loved one. So, because I'm sure we've all seen it when we're in
Yeah.
circles where there's a lot of no's and all of a sudden it switches to a lot of yeses.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking is happening in the background. Come on, hurry up.
Yeah, spirit always has your back. That's
They've got
funny.
your back.
All right. Well, that was wonderful, Joanne. Thanks for kicking us off. Who wants to go next?
I can try. We have 12
Thank you,
minutes.
Effie. Go ahead.
12, 12 minutes, was it?
10.
Oh, 10 minutes. All right. So I am drawn in between Carol and Shore. Uh, wow. I am drawn actually more to Shore. I do feel like wow. So Shore, would you understand? There is a lady stepping forward for you, and she is someone that takes me to, actually, I'm going to switch it. I'm so sorry, Shore. I'm going to Carol. Carol, would you understand in your family that you have Scottish roots?
I do.
And would it also make sense that there is a woman that you have felt very, very much around you when you're in your mediumship and also when you're developing? And it takes me to your mom is on the other side.
Mhm.
And would you also understand your mom has Scottish roots within her
Yes.
side?
Yeah. Mhm.
And she's a woman that's very endearing, very, very calm, with the quality of her soul. Would this make sense to you?
Yes, it
And
does.
she takes me to where you and her go to a place together in your meditations, and you're sitting in the power, where she wants to talk to you. She wants this is your quality time with her one on one. And with this woman, she's very much your mom into the Highlands of Scotland. Her roots are very, very important to her. And there is like a dedication of passing on her knowledge of Scotland, but not the same way as ancestors, but she's dedicated to her roots. Would you understand this with your mom?
Uh, I'm not
I
sure
mean,
yet. Continue on.
one second. With your mom, wouldn't she says Carol? So there's a sense of there's a name that's been passed down in your family, Carol, where there has been a grandmother that had the same name or an, a middle name. Would this
There
make
was
which
a name passed down. Yes. Mhm.
that you have inherited as part of that name, Carol?
I didn't inherit it. No, but it
Would
was
you understand
passed
the
down.
name of Diane or Diana?
No.
Diane. um, then it takes me to you are the person that always does everything for everybody, Carol. And they don't appreciate you for how much that you do. There is a sense of
Um,
recognition that she's coming in that you don't do as you don't get that full medal of all the help that you give to everybody. And there's not this reciprocation of the same. Um, would this make sense to you?
I could see why she'd say that. Yeah.
Right. And your mom makes me feel like she was the same kind of person, where she did everything for everybody and she didn't complain about it. She just did it because that's who she was. She wanted to help. She was
Mhm.
quite the caregiver in your home. And when she comes with me, there is a sense of a beautiful musical voice that she has, your mom, where she can just hum and she can just sing. But I also want to go to karaoke in your family. I also want to take you to the pianos. I want to go to concerts. I want to go to the opera. I love the sound of music. So there is a family heritage of music in your family. Would you understand this?
Yes, I do.
Right. And there, when you had this, and transparency, I do know a lot about Carol. You had this as a child, your musical voice, that she inspired inside you to grow, to take it to the next level. And she was always beside you, and she was teaching you how to read. She was teaching you from scratch from the very, very, very beginning. Um, your teacher in life, even though she was not a professional teacher, she was your teacher in life. And you were always close to her as a child. And
Mhm.
as a child, you'd follow her around, and then the house was a lot of noise, a lot of chaos. But your mom's present when she comes in, her calmness settled the home. And you were sensitive as a little girl and very much an empath and not really fully understanding it. So you would hear noises, you would be in tune of other people's auras, their energies, and it would really you needed that time alone inside. Would all of this make sense to you, Carol?
Yes. Mhm.
And there is where a sense where I want to play the piano really young. I want to learn right away to play this piano. So would you understand wanting to learn how to play the piano?
I understand wanting to learn. Yes.
And would you say your mom, or actually your mom played the piano? No. Would you say your grandmother played the piano?
They both did.
Thank you. So your grandmother comes in also as she steps forward with a lot of those little, this is very typical for grandmas of brooches that she would have worn. But you started to also tune in to start doing your creativity with art, your paintings. You would have moved into that, but you didn't fully flourish it. You didn't fully make it, not make it, but um, tried your hand at it. It wasn't for you at that time. And there was a strong message to start moving into your paintings, like the beautiful painting Sure has behind himself, to take and your musical abilities where singing solo in front of an audience was something normal for you. As you got older and older, it became something natural.
That's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
And there's couples and a lot of people here, but the interest with a lot of folklore of music. So I want to go back to Irish music and Celtic music and
Yes.
Scottish music from the Highlands again being, and when you listen to that, that's where it takes me to your soul, that you resonate to it. We talked about the same cloth. So you and your mom are from the same cloth. She has giving you the tools of your life to be where you are today. She's also a woman very good with money, your mom, so she's quite a good saver. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And there would also be like a jar of coins in the house. And
Yeah.
in that coin, she was always putting money and dollar bills that were in there. So it's always like raining for us, saving for a rainy day. And you'd remember that, Carol, just go get some money from the kitty box or the kitty litter. That's the little toolbox. And it was always there. And you were very honest that if you took $2 or $3, there was this honesty between the two of you. And that's still who you are today. But I understand also that people have come to you for financially wanting to help them, and you've had to set some boundaries with them. And then she applauds you for that because it's tough to have boundaries, but that was something that you needed to learn. That was one, and she gave you the tools also for this, and that you don't rely on anybody today to help you financially. You can do that on your own. Investments too with yourself, Carol. So there is a sense where you started to fully invest. But there were missed opportunities that you went, darn, I should have stayed in that stock or stayed in that investment, stayed in those RSSPs,
That's
which
legendary.
why did I? And
Oh my gosh.
you and as your grandmother also steps forward with you, would you understand the name of Anne Marie, like a compound name?
I do.
That's also on the other side.
No, she's living.
Okay, she's living. So the Anne Marie that's here today, and the grandmother that is coming for her that just switched spirits, a lady, would you understand her mother is on the other side?
I do not know.
Okay, so I won't stay too long with her,
Okay.
but I do understand she's saying hello to Anne Marie and let her know that her mom did come by today.
Cool.
Also with your grandmother, sorry, with your mother that is still here. I understand, actually, no, before I don't want to let the second spirit go. I want to go to the salon and get a lot of highlights on my hair. She goes to the salon with this makes sense to you.
I'm going at 2 o'clock this afternoon for my highlights.
And with you, and she's going to be, of course, right there with you.
The
And you have
golden
this,
nugget, Effie.
right? And in your home, just take their love of your grandmother that came here for you today and having those conversations. And if just an avid reader, your mom was,
Yes.
and loving to go to the library and all those books from a long time ago that we have lost the touch of the internet today. Those wholesome books with pages that are ripped that smell like they're 30, 40 years old.
Mhm.
You love those books, and you would have lots of them in your house and go to book sales and just an avid reader. So reading came to you very easily,
Mhm.
very, very easily, Karen. As your mom steps back here today, she's never going to step back. She's never going to step back. She's always
Good.
going to be with you. And she has your arm around her side, how much she loves you and cherishes you and holds you so tightly with love. And to always, always look to her for advice and guidance, because this is one lady that puts you on a pedestal and bows to you today, how much you have grown in your mediumship and development. Thank you.
Mm. Effie, my gosh, that was beautiful. Yeah, I agree, Joanne. I gotta give that hearts. Oh my gosh, that was just stellar. There was so much great evidence in that. I don't even know where to start. Okay, but I had to, I guess I'll go backwards and say the highlight thing is funny because literally that's where I'm going after we finish this live stream today, is to get some highlights put in my hair. And then
But your mom would do the same.
yeah, she
She
did.
would also do the same.
She also had highlights in her hair. That's true. The whole thing with the books was fascinating because she actually taught me to love reading at a very young age, and she would read to me, and I couldn't understand the words, but I looked at the pictures, and I just couldn't believe that you could get that much information out of those pages, and when I was a kid, I always had my nose in a book, so it was, kind of a thing for me. I thought the part about Anne Marie was very interesting, okay, because that's a very specific name. And so I will tell our YouTube audience that Anne Marie Bond of the Arthur Findlay College was my mentor. Okay.
Is she a
And
spirit art?
she's a spirit artist. Yes, she
Interesting.
is. Okay. And so I'm going to kind of go to the side and ask Effie, like, what is, did you get any vibe about Anne Marie there, or like why Anne Marie would come in
Uh,
the middle of that
I
read?
it was more blending with the creativity side of you. So it makes sense that she is a teacher, a mentor of art and
Spirit art.
writing.
Yeah.
If she has any writing as a part of her tools as a teacher, it made perfect sense because if that's where your strength is in writing, reading, spirit art, uh, that is the flow, that is your potential where to move into.
Okay. That
And if
that's
her mom is on the other side to say hello, but as I'm speaking, and this is more to move into that area of art, express your quality of your soul with art.
Okay. All right. Now that makes sense then, because and for the benefit of our YouTube audience, if you Google the name Anne dash Marie, Marie, Bond, Bond, she is a phenomenal spirit artist who teaches for the Arthur Findlay College in England. And you can see an example of her artwork there, but that's why that like piece of information that didn't seem to fit in otherwise a very, very detailed reading suddenly popped in there. Okay, so my mother is telling me apparently that she thinks I should pay more attention to what my teacher does and try it myself. So so I'll take mom's advice for that. But that actually leads me to a question, kind of like a random question. Oh, actually, the one thing I wanted to say before I do that, the name passed down in the family, okay, was my great grandmother to her eldest daughter, but I did not inherit it. So, because it was my mom was not her eldest daughter. So thank you for that. But I want to go back um because as our YouTube audience heard, Effie's reading was so full of detail and information. And then all of a sudden this one piece of information came in there that was kind of weird. And so I want to talk about like weird bits of information because you'll notice that Effie didn't get hung up about that. Effie has a great deal of trust in spirit. So she just kind of like ran with it. And it turned out that the information was relevant. But I want to go back and ask you, Effie, about like those random pieces of information that don't seem to fit. How do you handle those generally?
Uh, Usually we do a lot of practice with working with the nose, and that took a long time to trust. You shared that right away. Anne Marie's name came out of nowhere, and it didn't actually fit with the blending of the soul's reading. And
Mhm,
I knew it was not your mom.
mhm.
That was I was blending with anymore. I had switched spirits, and I didn't know whether the spirit was on the other side or here, but it was so strong, her name, that there was something to it. I have to trust where it was going, and it was regarding your potential. She just wouldn't let it go. The name Anne Marie. The only Anne Marie I know is also Anne Marie Bond from the Arthur Findlay, but she never came to my mind. She never came to mind. So what came as soon as she came is I saw Sher's picture in his background of painting, and then spirit art, and then seeing diagrams, outlines of drawing spirit, and then seeing beautiful colors with you. So moving into that, your expression of your soul is art, is reading, and then a lot of books of knowledge.
Mhm.
So as it started to fit, it started to fit because and I started to feel that it would fit, but it had nothing to do with your mom. Actually, their mom was delivering the message. But Anne Marie, that was the only person that could help me. The name Anne Marie, I thought of her. Actually, no, I did not think of her. I just heard the name very quickly, a compound name, and I saw Sher's picture behind him. That was beautiful colors. And so just blending into that, moving into this is for you.
Okay. Anne
Your
Marie Ord. Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. And it's just an issue of trust. Okay. Well, I'll throw that question out to Shore then. Okay.
And at the very beginning, I saw Sher's picture in your
Okay.
reading. The
Yeah.
first, like Joann said it,
Okay.
very good evidence. It's the first piece of evidence. It was Sher's picture. And I did go to Sher in the beginning, but I
Right.
trusted I'm not with Sher.
There
This
you go.
doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And I moved to you.
Okay. All right.
And also in the reading, Sher's picture kept repeatedly coming up.
Okay. So that
The
was the signal
colors,
for the Ord.
the
Okay.
entire, yes. So it's your hobbies and your
Fun.
interests today on art.
Okay. Fascinating. Well, I'm going to throw it out to Shore and ask you when you have bits of information like pop into a reading that like just don't seem to fit with what you're talking about, like how do you handle those?
I just let it out. I just give what I get, and it's for spirit to weave it into the story. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not for me to understand, but I know whatever I get, it has some meaning. Otherwise, they wouldn't be spending the energy and needed to transmit that information. So I just give what I get. Yeah. And that's the
Okay.
best practice I feel.
Okay. All right, then I will agree with that. Well, how about you, Joann? What do you do when you get these random pieces of information that just don't seem to fit?
Trust. You have to trust whatever you come in that comes in. To be a medium, you have to trust and
Mhm.
get away from your mind and trust the information spirit's presenting you. And also, it's not this perfect package too of a reading because
Mhm.
a lot of times it's not for us mediums to know what the message is or why it's being said. Sometimes we have information that's not um, confirmed or validated because it's not the information for us, it's for the sitter. So the hard part for a medium, especially when you're very beginning, you want all this validation and confirmation, but sometimes the information is to land for the sitter, and the hard part for the medium is not sometimes, in the very beginning, especially that we need that validation and confirmation and how it's going, right?
Mhm.
How do we
And it's
surrender?
trust. It's
How do we
trusting.
surrender?
So the surrendering is trusting, right? Trust is the key thing, like trusting the information that's coming through. And that's a hard part, especially like I went back to when we practice with one another, because we know so much information that I'm like, it happened the other time. Like, was it the last time I was here live? I thought because I knew that person and the image that was coming in that it was for another sitter because I got in my head.
Mhm.
But I know the information that was coming through and trusting that information. So then I had to back up. I'm like, okay, I know this is true. I just need to get out of my head. So yeah, it's the juggling, just trusting and just trusting the information that comes through and get out of your head. And we all are aware is how we develop that is through meditation and quieting our minds.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point, Joann.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw my 2 cents in here and say
Mm.
that I think this very issue that you've seen here is probably what sandbags a lot of beginning mediums because they're so afraid of having things like that come up. And as a defensive maneuver, they will stick to evidence that is so generic that it pretty much applies to everybody in the world. And the classic statement in the mediumship world is, I have my grandmother here and she baked you cookies. Ah, okay, you cannot do stuff like that, okay, with information that applies to everybody's grandmother.
Yeah,
And
but another thing is that you got to
yeah,
trust if they're bringing you cookies, that's what they're bringing.
yeah,
Because with mediums, we want more than that. But
yes,
sometimes that is the information you need to lean into until they give you other information. So that's
yeah.
another tricky.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
it's only appropriate if she really did bake them cookies. But like Effie said, okay, you
Mhm.
just have to trust the information that you're getting. Like Sure said, you don't have to understand it. Just say
Mhm.
what it is. Like I was in a reading yesterday, and I got a sandbox out of the blue, and it did not seem to fit at all with this police officer that I was talking to at the other side. Like, what the heck would he be doing with a sandbox? But as it turned out, it was completely relevant to the sitter. So that's why you just have to be willing to hear those no's. Okay, like Effie said, and I'll tell you, when I was starting, I actually took a class with a very famous British medium, and the whole purpose of the class is that even if the information that was being given to you was true, okay, or you were given that your sitter was true, your sitter had to say no to you, which was awful. It was awful, to have every single thing come back no. But it was a real slap in the face to make you get used to hearing those
Mhm.
no's. Okay. And if spirit gives you a no, you also, I think, need to think about it in terms of something that you may have misunderstood. So there's nothing wrong with saying, give that to me another way, spirit, because I didn't understand it. But spirit does not give you bad information. So trust, trust, trust.
I love that, Carol. I love that. I love that knows because it moves your mind out to sort what you're feeling and what you're sensing. So the sandbox could also be an opportunity that you play always fair with everybody in the sandbox, or the communicator did. And if the word is no, it makes you move to another area. If it's not that, then you're always the one making it work for everybody. Or
Mhm.
it could be where uh, I have a sandbox and I feel like I'm always left out. Nobody wants to play with me in the sandbox.
Mhm.
Or the sandbox could smell dirty. It's
Oh,
been
yeah.
there for like a long time, and I'm always cleaning up everybody's messes. Just one picture can mean 1,001 different things, and
Mhm.
that's why those no's, I'm so glad we work on them, because, and it's also our interpretation. So it
Mhm.
moves your mind to open up your awareness, your imagination to all the things one picture can give you. Just one.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because the no's can be that you're misinterpreting what it is. Yeah, just like you said, it can mean a lot of things.
But like
And
you said, your head shouldn't be in it anyway. So
mhm.
it's not for you, the medium, to figure out what it is. Just
Exactly.
say what it is that you're getting, and don't try to figure out what it is. So
Hmm.
so hopefully Sure will demonstrate that principle for us. You feeling it?
The challenge.
I know you can do it. Go ahead.
Okay. I feel I have a mother figure here. She feels more like grandma, definitely connected with you. In She's showing herself like on a deck, looking upwards, and it's a moonlit night. And she's wearing all white, top to bottom. Um, she is very connected. It does not feel like a church theme, but it's more like spirit theme. connected with spirit, and she was not well understood by the family. In fact, her husband would be kind of worried about the way she was spending more time more time at night outside, just looking at the stars, looking at the moon. So she feels like very, very connected. Uh, Faith was pretty strong with her, and she was able to block what was what could be considered by her as a distraction on what she was connecting with, communicating with. I know it's a little bit unusual, but wonderful. But who can understand this lady?
I'm listening, sure.
What can you understand?
About a person who's very connected. She was religious, but very connected. I wouldn't know the part of her being outside and looking at the moon. Um, but I would understand about him being concerned.
Okay. And you were small at that time.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, I mean,
5, 6.
when this happened,
Yeah.
um,
You were in the same family, of course. Yeah.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
If you resonate with the immediate family or
Yes.
grandma?
No, it would be, can I tell you who it would be or
Um,
family?
okay, family. But mother, this mother figure that's
Yes, yes,
okay.
mother figure, but not mother.
Okay, all right. So I I did I do see a small girl as well,
Mhm.
and she's calling to this lady. Uh, she wants more attention. And that's one of the reasons it feels like the concern from um, her husband, that she's too engrossed in what she was doing, not paying attention to where it's needed with this child. Does this make sense? It's a little bit convoluted, but so
Mm.
this a child is being ignored.
Mm.
Grandkid or
Trying to think. Back then, I don't think they treated postpartum depression, and I believe it might be something similar to that.
okay, okay, all right. She was just incredible woman. Um, um, Again, she was able to just focus on what was needed for her soul in a way. Nothing truly mattered. Nothing else truly mattered. And she was able to just spend the time the way she wanted it. So quietness is something which was very meaningful for her and much needed for her. And she would, you would also understand that she was able to, or she would spend quite a bit of time sewing, scissors, using scissors, needles.
Mhm. She did so.
Okay. So she would, when she was sewing, um, she would be humming as well.
Mm.
Uh, so this is her way of kind of meditating. And yeah, just I feel I'm a little bit oblivious to what was going on around me, and I'm just single track. I want to do what I want to do. Nothing else again mattered. Would you understand an R name around her?
Not at the top of my head, no.
Okay, all right. So that's something popped in. Yeah, this is all for your benefit. To be able to, and you are to a great extent already are able to block off what's not needed, the noise. You can look above the noise and not get distracted. You already have that capability, but they want to strengthen that in you. Yeah, the noises, be it traffic, be it chatter going on around you, is something which is a little bit of nuisance, a little bit of distraction to you at this point. Does that make sense? And they want to just strengthen you to, or help you to be able to block that efficiently so that you can connect deeper and really get to the essence of what is needed. You have that ability. You just need to get into the deeper state that you truly want. So I'm going to stop here, leave you with our love and blessings.
Sure. I believe you had my sister, but she could be my mother. She was 20 years older than me. And she was like me. She was an empath, full-blown empath. She kept to herself. She did so. She, um, in my family, being that there's a lot of trauma. I think that's what the whole thing is, right? So I'm pretty, grounded and I can block out certain things. But yeah, noise does bother me. If a TV goes on and whatever, I need like, okay, stop that. Or if someone's talking, turn off whatever is behind you because it's distracting me as I'm trying to listen to you. I think that she's picking that up because I just said that to my husband. What's that noise behind you? Because I couldn't, yes. So that it's just a thing that I don't know whether I'm going to develop or what. But yes, that's bothersome. Um, anyway, uh, and her, so I don't know, like being that I'm the youngest, but I do know that she did suffer depression, and it could have been postpartum depression. The very, but her husband's very supportive, and she did have a supportive network thank God. But she would spend she would prefer to spend time to herself, and she was very calm energy and uh, didn't like to be rushed. And she's very connected, very connected. Thank you, sure.
Thank you.
And that was a funny thing because that just happened.
All right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Now, I was really happy with the way that that worked out because, like, stylistically, we've had three different. Yeah, you're right, Effie. I forgot to send hearts. I'm sorry. Okay, but stylistically, that's completely different from the other two readings. Okay, and what was interesting about that is that that reading that Sure just did, I thought was very message centered. Okay, rather than facts and figures. Um, so I'm going to throw this out to Shore and start with him and ask him. So, Shore, do you like your readings? Okay, like you can get, like I say, facts and figures about name, rank, and serial number of the spirits that you're talking to. Okay, or you can create a conversation and allow yourself to be used. Okay, in order to get a message to the spirit. Okay. And I felt like the latter was what I heard from you today, that like you weren't so focused on name, rank, and serial as you were the fact that the spirit just wanted to talk to Joann about something. And so you got out of the way and let her talk to Joann. So I want to congratulate you on that, first of all. But then, second of all, I want to ask you, are all of your readings that way, or like can they vary between like facts and figures and talking, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, every reading is different. It's really depends on what spirit feels the need of the time is. And they had to we have to remember that it's a small group we have, and we have read each other so many times. And just look at the intelligence, how they um,
Mhm.
separate out what has been already presented and come up with something new.
Every time,
Every
every time.
time. This is
Yeah,
just incredible. We run out of family members
yeah.
to communicate with. Well, the information is already out. A lot of information is already out there for about each and every person. Of course, it's a life full of story. So yes, it's since this is a demonstration of mediumship as well as a learning in a way for new mediums. Throwing in variety also makes it a different. It makes a difference for this. But yeah, I got name, rank, and story, but theme is also quite important, just to show that spirit is here to give a message that means something to the person for their own growth.
Mhm.
So that's one way of mediumship, but bringing in very specific information, including names, I think that's very wonderful, just to
Mhm.
show exactly that they are there.
Mhm.
So, so showing the presence of the spirit with those very specific information is very critical as well. So
Mhm.
somehow today my reading went toward, as you said, specifically the message.
Mhm.
Uh,
That was good.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to see that. So,
Right.
okay. All right. Well, that's good input. Joanne, I'm going to throw it out to you. What about you? Have you seen like shifts in your readings like that, where like, sometimes it's data driven and then other times it's like not so much?
I haven't analyzed it honestly about my readings, but what I got when you had meant sure was you asked him sure that question is I believe my belief is that being that we're practicing mediums, we do this. He didn't have to go into the details. I already resonated with what he was saying. So
Mhm.
I feel that he can bypass that because I was already connected to just the little information he had. That's my feeling. So he didn't have to tell me it was my sister. I knew it was my sister. He didn't have to tell me a lot of things because I knew it was. That's what my feeling is. As far as going back to your question about, I know that we have, through time, we develop different clairs. Um, but I'm at a point where I'm just trusting. I'm just trusting how it comes out, whether I hear it, see it, whether they tell me. I'm leaning into that, and that's where I'm at right now. It may change. Um, I know that it can be very scary when a strong clair is, because I used to hear things a lot, like names, and then that stopped. And I'm like, oh. So then I had to trust whenever I hear something, but I would like hold back. I'm like, I'm going to say it anyway, and I would get a no, and then I would get a no, and then sometimes I would get a yes, and then I'm like, oh, and then I want to hold back on the names, but I still say the names because that is part of my spiritual development. Is it going to land? I don't know, but I have to trust that. So that's my development is
Mhm.
trusting whether I'm going to get it or I'm not going to get it, but trusting and staying with it.
Okay. All right. Then I'll thank you for that. And then I'm going to toss it over to Effie and ask you the
Mm,
same question because when I kind of like compare the way that your reading worked compared to Shore's, yours was more like evidence centered than his was. Okay. And I think it was great that we got to see two different distinctly different styles of readings here today. So I'll ask you, how does that work for you, like as a general rule, Effie? Are all of your readings like that, or are some more message centered? Do you find that it depends on the spirit?
I love Cher's reading because he
Yeah,
trusted and he met the need.
yeah,
And that's what Joanne needed. He met the need. He didn't need to have a reading that was specific or psychic. He
yeah.
trusted it, and that's where it went. And you can see all three of us had very different styles of reading.
Right.
So when you're developing, not to compare yourself to anyone else, you develop your own specific style and what works for you. Sure, today went the way it was supposed to go,
Hmm.
and there was he didn't guess it. He didn't have to. It's Joanne needed a mediumship reading, and it was also a psychic reading at the same time. But he met the need of the spirit world, and he looked into her soul, and this is something that her sister was coming with, maybe more of a nurturer her sister was. Joanne could be also a nurturer. We all have stuff from our past, so do I. Uh, Something to move into for healing, for Carol, Joanne, Sure, or myself. So I loved his reading,
Hmm.
and it was message. It was the message.
Yeah.
That's sometimes my
Beautiful.
readings go that way too, and I don't ask. He surrendered.
Yeah.
He surrendered.
Yeah. Well, and I'll throw my 2 cents in there, and I'll say that in my experience, sometimes I end up with readings that are a little more data driven with spirits who have never come in before. And the reason that I think that happens is that because like they don't have any experience in this type of communication. And so sometimes when they come in for me and I see them, they're like standing there like, what do I do next? Like a deer caught in the headlights look on their face. Okay. And so that's when I have to start asking them, well, you know, who are you here for? Who are you to that person? This kind of stuff. And my questioning them like that turns the reading into something that is evidence driven. Okay. But then the flip side to that is that I've run into other spirits who have been in this environment so many times, okay, like Effie has talked about, that they just say, Carol, shut up, let me do the talking, tell her this. And I do. So, in my experience, it all depends on spirit and, what they want to see happen. So, but it's always a challenge any way you look at it. All right, I'm going to see if I can grab a spirit here and see who I can bring in for the group. I'm hearing a name right out of the gate, and the name is Ramon. Okay. Does anybody have a Ramon in spirit by any chance? No.
I have a Ramona.
Ramona, you're kidding. Okay. All right. No, see, I got to trust that. Okay. That was a weird name. Let me work with that if I may, and let's see what's happening. And when I lean into this woman here, I'm feeling a like she's consumed with religion. Would that make sense? Faith, very faith-driven person. Okay. And where she's at right now, and I'm going to preface this by saying right now, because I don't think she was this way all the time, but where she is right now is that her energy feels very worn out and tired to me. So would she have been that way at a point in her life?
Sure, as she got older, yeah.
Okay. All right. Would you have known her when she was younger?
No.
No. Okay. All right. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, I try not to do readings that are a little, like, in my mind, down in nature. So sometimes I will ask my spirit to switch back to a happier time. Okay. But if this is when Joann knew her, this is what I have to work with. So I'm going to see what I can find out about her at this point in her life. I feel like my legs are bothering me. Okay, did she have issues with her legs that you know of?
I know of someone else, not that person that you're mentioning. Yes.
Okay, all right. She's showing me like bad legs below the knees. Okay. I feel like this woman sat a lot in like an armchair. Okay. And
Yes.
there was a crucifix on the wall that she would look at. Do you know the crucifix
I'm trying
around?
to think. Um, I wouldn't be surprised, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Because this is what I want to do. I'm sitting in this armchair and I want to turn my head and I want to look at this crucifix and I'm just looking at Jesus on the cross and I want to see why she's doing this. And this is all related to her faith. Okay, just the fact that she's trying to wrap her head around the fact that Jesus gave everything, for her. Okay. And this is the way that she's looking at it when she's sitting in this armchair. And I feel like there's a table next to her with a glass of water and pill bottles. Would you understand? Pill bottles around her. Okay. And it's funny because like if our YouTube audience is watching, my energy is a lot lower, and that's because this spirit is very quiet and I'm taking on this spirit's energy. So that's why I'm not climbing the walls like I usually am. But and I feel like she wore slippers when she was in the house. Does that make sense to you? Wearing
Yeah.
slippers? Does
Mhm.
it? Okay. All right. Because I see her getting up out of the chair and going to what looks like a back door and looking out the back door and just kind of like surveying a little yard. And then she goes back to the chair and sits. But, this is kind of what she does for exercises, gets up, goes to the door to look out, and then goes back to the chair. Okay. Um, and I feel like what I want to do is just contemplate where I'm at right now is regrets. I'm contemplating regrets. And I feel like she didn't accomplish everything that she had hoped to do in her
Mhm.
lifetime. Would you understand that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So she's regretting that right now. Um, and this is actually coming in as a bit of a message for you too. Okay. Because what she's saying to you is that she doesn't want you to be caught in the same position. So she's encouraging you to um, not procrastinate like she did. Okay, get on it. Okay, get on whatever it is you need to do. Um, and I feel like I'm trying to switch her up to get her to a happier time, and she is not cooperating.
Mhm.
Okay, so I feel like this is something that you would have experienced with her. You would have gone in to try to snap her out of this melancholia, and you had no luck. Would you understand that? Because
That
she
was that
was
was yeah, that was a personality
okay.
block.
All
Mhm.
right, yeah, and you tried to snap her out of it, and she just would not be snapped.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from because when I look around her. It's like I don't think she really wants for a lot. Okay, but this runs deeper than this, and so for my learning purposes, I'm trying to figure out, why she is um, in this state. I feel like a lot of this had to do with her again, okay, and just not being able to do everything that she had hoped to do with her life. And so this kind of like compounded, um, snowballed, I guess is the word that I want. She kind of got on this trajectory where she was limited, and I'm going to say she was limited by health restrictions. Would that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So, um, so a lot of this, just came from the fact that she was not able to accomplish certain things because of health restrictions. And then as her life went on, she came to the realization that she was never going to realize some of the dreams that she had had for her life. Okay. And this is what she is thinking about. So I'm going to ask her about the other side, see what she says about that. And it's interesting because she's talking about angels. She's talking about all the angels on the other side, um, being with them. And when I asked her about the other side, all of a sudden I felt all that melancholia leave me. And I would not say that I'm um, like jumping out of my skin like Carol usually does, but I at least have chucked that melancholia, and I'm peaceful, very peaceful, okay, and happy, uh, happy in a constrained way. Let's put it that way. Happy in a constrained way. So I'm gonna just leave her message with you, and her message is that you know, don't procrastinate like she did. Okay, get out there, make use of your life. Okay, and she wants you to know that she's in a better place than she was when she crossed over. But um, you know, don't waste your life. And I'll leave you that with light and love. Thanks for letting me serve spirit. So,
Okay.
so I've never met Ramona before, I don't think. Have I?
No, it's not Ramona.
Oh, it's not
So,
Ramona? Okay.
so what happened was, Sure said R. What's that R?
Oh,
And I wasn't able to identify who the R was. So she decided to come back again.
oh,
So
okay.
Ramona is our grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was my sister once again.
Oh, oh,
And once again, I really do feel because we do this all the time, we can then lean in to who's coming through. Because immediately I was leaning in thinking it was my grandmother, but it wasn't. Once you started giving me the evidence and describing the situation and
okay.
health condition, I immediately knew it was my sister
The
again.
chair and the pills. Okay. All right.
And the health
Oh,
issues and the legs and everything. Just
okay. And
everything
for the
about it.
benefit of our YouTube audience, I know that Joann has a sister in spirit, but I did not know that
That
she
health.
sat in the chair with the pill
Yes,
bottles beside it.
exactly.
So
Mhm.
that's my new evidence from spirit. Okay.
Yes, yes. And sitting
Okay.
there and yes.
Okay.
And she's always been that way, but the reason why also sometimes it's not up to us to know because she was that person. She was also very private. But there's a
Mhm.
lot of trauma that, I really do believe that caused her health to decline so much.
Oh.
And but the regrets, and she's always told me this out of the blue a few years prior to her passing, she called me up because not only was her health restricting her from moving forward and doing what she wanted, but she was also restricted to move forward to furthering her education because she was the oldest of nine and she was told to stay home in eighth grade, right?
Oh my
So she had,
gosh.
yeah. And so as a result of that, she had a lot of admissions, but due to not feeling that she could complete that. So that in itself already stopped her from thinking that she can move forward and then had a family and sort of pushed that aside. But she is proud of her children and what they've achieved. She has a son who's a doctor and a daughter who went through, college. And so she's very proud of that. I mean, she was so a couple years before she passed, she called out of nowhere because I've already wrote a book. She says, "How about that other book?" I'm like, and Spirit had been telling me over and over again. So this is her way again to push me, just like it with you, Effie. Spirit's trying to push me out there, and I need to and I know that in my spirit. That's why I'm doing this, right? This is another way of getting out of there, out of your, your way and being who you really are authentically. But we sometimes um, we what do they call it? We damper our own light because of who do you think you are, da, 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 and all these other naysay, all this information that comes in your head. And I know that to be true. But anyway, so I mean, it gets really deep, but yeah. But she presented herself that I knew it was my sister. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's interesting. So she's come in twice on the same session, okay, with different evidence, which is kind of interesting and
And
very
how
interesting.
she followed up with the R that I did not know. And then you said,
Wake up.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
yeah, because I'm thinking, well, I never even grew up with her. So, but I know her name.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, geez. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Well, I'll throw it out to shore then, okay, and ask you, has this happened to you before where you've been in a group setting like this and the spirit has come in to two different mediums to continue a message?
I'm sure it has happened, but
Okay.
it may take me time to recall that instance. Yeah, I would say it must have happened, and it's maybe not very common, but not uncommon.
Okay. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, and sure I'm going to continue to talk to you about this. So we both have the same person, but our readings on this same person were completely different because mine was, like we were even talking about that, kind of like very data driven, because I was actually having difficulty maintaining a connection with her because my general energy is normally, oh, as you can see, I'm all hands all over the place, this kind of thing. And she was very down. Okay. And apparently, sure,
But that
does
was
a
evidence. That was evidence because she
yeah,
was the
yeah, but
personality.
my point is that Shore apparently does a better job of connecting to that kind of energy than I do, probably because he's more laid back than I am. Okay, so that's kind of interesting because we both had the same person in spirit, but when you look at our two readings, his was all message driven because he just I don't know what you did. Did you like just go straight for the message or or did you try to steer away from the energy itself because there was, it was a difficult energy or did you even find her difficult?
No, I just went with what they showed. The
Okay. All
the
right.
first thing that I saw was again standing at the edge of the deck and just looking up, uh, just connected
Yeah,
deeply,
and I saw her looking out the back door. Okay. That's funny.
connected deeply in her thoughts, but
Yeah.
and not worrying about other responsibilities that she had. So I did feel like a child being ignored.
Okay. All right.
So, so, and that kind of built up on its own uh, as a theme.
Okay.
What you need to do, you got to do.
Yeah. Okay.
You need to just get away from the distractions.
Yeah. So apparently she felt, that you needed to hear that message twice. So
Two different ways.
yeah, yeah, that
Same,
was interesting.
same person, yeah. I'm so glad that R made sense eventually. They made sure it's understood.
That was funny. I wasn't
But I want
expecting
to add also, there's so many personalities, and she lived, a fairly
that.
long life. So
Yeah,
there's so much information in there that we can actually present. What we
yeah,
give is just a little snippet of what really goes on in their lives. And um, but that would be her personality too, and the way she would come through, um, how she would present information. I don't want to give too much just in case,
yeah.
you don't want you guys to get in your head about when she comes it through. But I can take it. I just feel for me, for a testament, is that I can't speak for anyone else, but I know that my readings are different to when I first started. Like I immediately, there's a lot of when I get readings, like I know, like intuitively, I know who they're connecting with. And I tune in and I even ask spirit, speak up, give them information, do whatever in my head, like because I want to hear what they have to say and the message. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
well, I'll
thank
throw
you.
that out thanks, Joanne, and I'll throw it out to Effie then. Okay, and kind of ask you the same question. Okay, have you,
Hmm.
seen the same
All
with
the
the
time,
spirit?
all the time
Okay,
in
can you
circles.
elaborate on that?
they really want to speak to Joann. The communicator really needs to talk to Joann. There is something with Joann or around her that they really need to deliver a message to her. It could be Joann has gone through a tough time in her life and has now finally walked over the rainbow and seeing that there is more to life and to live her life fully. Working with angels, we all know angels carry the light, and they're very, very light entities, creator of God. That's what I use. And Joann could be in a place of opening up her heart and being in a place full of love and starting to see the light at the end of the rainbow or at the end of the tunnel. So have been in circles with 35 people, and then 10 of the readings will go to that one person. It'll be the same person, different evidence, but they really need to get to Joann or to Shore or to Carol. And that tells me I would not be surprised, Joann, if your loved one in the spirit world comes again and again, because she really wants to tell you today that you have gone through a lot of hurdles and you have moved into a different place in your life, and opening up your heart to that centeredness, because she couldn't find that in her life.
Yeah,
And
she
I
didn't
just
have the
felt to
opportunity.
move you to that place of feeling joy.
Which I am. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm writing the book, Effie.
But I see this all the time. All the time. It's wonderful. It's wonderful
Well,
to see this.
we will look forward to seeing that book come out. And actually, for those who are interested, is your book available on Amazon, Joann?
Well, my first one is, but my second one I'm working on. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So when that time comes, just for our YouTube audience, okay, when Joann's book comes out, we will post that in the comments so that you got the link for it and you know where to get it. But in the meantime, we want to thank our YouTube audience for coming and joining us today. We hope that you will join us next Saturday, same time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a discussion on all things mediumship. And if you liked what you saw here today, please hit like and subscribe on our channel so that you'll be notified of our next live stream automatically. But in the interim, I'm going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer, if everyone would join us, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Shine your light and love on Reenie Bird so that she will recover quickly and join us soon. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. All right. Thanks again. See you next Saturday. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.